To Kill a Mockingbird shows that even though you have things tough, you have family and friends to help you along the way, even though if you don't know them.
Farm town, and you didn't really notice anything. You just thought it was an average town, but as you dug deeper and deeper and deeper, you noticed and realized that it was more than a town. It was home to so many great people, even bad people, but
1930s,
so many great
in the middle
people.
of an economic depression.
Great.
They're a poor family that consists of 3 people.
Scout was the youngest Finch. She never had a mother, so she was a tomboy, and she just never really liked being a girly girl or wearing dresses unless she had to. She always was looking forward to the smallest things like school, because she was really good at reading and Atticus taught her. She was actually offended when her teacher told her for Atticus to stop teaching her. She asked the most amazing questions, especially because she's the main viewpoint in the story. You notice that there's questions that not the average 6 or 7 or 8-year-old would ask, and that is what makes her special, is that she thought of life in a different way than most people.
Jim was Scout's older brother. He was about 4 years older than her, so he was about our age, 11, 12, and 4th, 5th, and 6th, maybe even 7th grade in the story. He was also adventurous as well, but he took more risks than Scout, and in the second part of the story, he acted more like a gentleman because he grew up. Atticus was Scout and Jim's father. He's a lawyer. He was also around the age of 50-ish. He was pretty old to be a father for 6 and 12-year-old. So he was most known for fighting in the Tom Robinson case, where he defended Mr. Robinson for not doing a very bad thing to Mayella Elwell, and in the first few chapters he just seems like a regular father, criticized, and the weird part is his children even called him Atticus. It's not like they called him Dad. Sadly, Mrs. Finch died when Scout was about 2, and when Scout was about 2, and they didn't really say why, but so it was just he just had to raise them on his own with Calabrina, their cook, by his Dill
side.
Harris was Miss Rachel's nephew, which Miss Rachel was Scout and Jim's neighbor. He visited them every summer, and they just had a blast. The first time they met him, he just was hidden, and he wasn't very outgoing, but as his character progressed, you saw that he was outgoing and he was very theatrical, and he would do anything for the ones he loved. Once he even walked 8 miles just to go to Scout and Jim's house, and I mean, that's Boo
true.
Bradley was a neighbor of the Finches, and he always looked out for Scout and Jim. He gave them bubble gum and these soap-carved dolls in one of their trees, just a replica of them. And at first they didn't know who. They heard rumors about him, like by Miss Stephanie, the neighborhood gossip, where he stabbed his mother in the leg, and he was put in a correction center, but Mr. Radley didn't want that to happen to him, so they put him in his basement instead. Then he got sick, and he eventually turned into this flesh-eating, zombie-like person. But he was really just shy and pale in the end, and he just didn't want to. He just he saved Jim and Scout's life in the end, and it was just, he truly cared about everyone around him, even neighbors and someone you don't know as well. He wanted them to have a good childhood, a better one than he did.